Today I'm working with my friend and my student Gene, and we're looking at changing his big, long, semi-western stroke into a short, abbreviated eastern swing. Now he's been using that technique for quite a long time, but we're also going to look at a few different things to simplify his stroke. By going to the eastern, we're eliminating a long distance in that swing path. It's going to be much more short. We need to look at how to turn our body so that we get into that right position. And one of the things is freedom of movement. Oftentimes we tend to step too early with that left leg, and if we swing at that point, our left leg is holding us back. There's a portion of our swing, if we broke it down in slow motion in stages, where it's arm, body, arm, arm, body, arm as we finish. For Gene, it's important that we get that weight off of that left leg so that he can transition his rotation with his body into the ball. Again, freedom of movement. If we cross over with that left leg, well, we're just stopping ourselves. So in the beginning, we're going to be doing a drill where Gene is going to be keeping the weight primarily off of his left leg. And then we progress so that he's getting to a point where he is stepping with that right leg and then swinging. And then as we move back, we're looking then at that point a position of the left arm on the racket. And if we use the left arm correctly, if we turn the racket with our left arm and take the racket out with our right leg, there's a tendency to land on that right leg for the forehand. This is very important. As we get into the backcourt, if we separate our arms too early, I might end up crossing my legs before I get to the ball. And then as I swing, well, the weight is coming off of the wrong leg. You're going to see Gene work on getting the racket to what we call the middle, separate, and then swing. Let's see that again. So Gene is in the back. Eventually when he gets to the backcourt, he's working on getting the racket to the middle, separating, and swinging. And he's using that technique to actually keep his feet in order so that they don't cross. He's putting the weight on the right foot as he's pushing off forward with the left, and using the eastern grip. He's learning how not to get so low on the ball and have this old-fashioned windshield wiper ball. Imagine that ball coming and trying to time it just right so that I can brush it for every shot. It's pretty difficult to do. With the eastern grip, we're going to use the face of the racket to drive the ball rather than brushing too much. You can still get just as much topspin on the ball, but it's not necessary to have this windshield action. We're getting nice depth as well. Now, later we start looking at a higher ball. Something not in this video, I was giving Gene balls that were higher than the net while he was standing and getting him used to swinging across. Now look at my racket when I'm down below. My hand is above, or I'm sorry, my arm is above the racket. As I come up higher, my arm going up, my racket now is more or less level up here. To get Gene to have a higher swinging path rather than a ball that's high and dropping and he's way down here while his hand is up here at the ball, I'm encouraging him to keep his left hand on the racket as he turns. If the ball's high, he keeps the left hand high so that the racket path begins and finishes at that point. It's still going to be a little bit below the ball. And then at a low ball, the left hand turns. The left hand is at the height of the ball as he separates and swings and comes through. Real quickly, let's look at the eastern grip. Gene has been using the semi-western. The semi-western, my knuckle is on that 1, 2, 3, fourth edge, it's as if the racket's flat, and I'm having him move back to this middle flat portion of the racket, the same bevel that the strings are on. We're going to call that eastern. It's important to point out there are different swing paths, and let's look at that for a second. So for the continental, simple way to look at it, as my racket goes back, the face of my racket is outside my hand. On the eastern, as the racket goes back, the racket face is outside my hand. Semi-western, as I go back, the racket is on the inside of my hand, and this creates a longer distance and a longer preparation portion of the swing. It does provide tremendous amount of speed and topspin on the ball, but if I'm not getting my depth, if I'm not hitting it within 4 or 5 feet of the baseline and it's landing somewhere in the middle of the court, it doesn't have a whole lot of value because it's just bouncing to my opponent. It's setting up for an easy shot for them to return. So if I'm looking for depth and I'm not getting it, there's nothing wrong with using the semi-western, but if I'm not getting the depth, I can achieve more depth and still maintain a lot of topspin by simply moving my hand towards continental. And if I've gone from semi-western, I'm now landing in an eastern grip. And again, that eastern grip, my knuckle is on this flat edge here. The swing path is shorter and abbreviated, and that's one of our accomplishments that we wanted to get with Gene, is the racket goes back instead of this big long wind up, which sometimes with a heavy ball coming at you is very difficult to time. This makes it a little bit easier, and because we're using the left hand in that middle separate swing sequence, we don't have to worry about this long path as well. The first thing I want you to do is actually just right there, and you're going to do that first step. Just get to the middle, right, and then separate. And I'm going to feed you just the perfect ball, but I don't want you to have any weight on that left leg. Okay. So this is just a warm up first before we go into the steps. So middle, separate, that's it. No left leg. Middle, separate, that's it. Middle, separate, good. So middle comes before the ball hits the ground. So middle, separate, good. Middle, separate. And when you look at the video, I want you to see how far you're taking the racket down. It doesn't need to be that low. Middle, separate, that's it. Maybe a little lower than that, but not much. Middle, separate, that's much better. Middle, separate, good. Middle, separate. Now let's go back and look at your feet. So right foot, no left leg. Right foot steps, that's what we want. Right foot steps, that's it exactly. Right foot steps, that's night and day when that happens. Right foot steps, very nice. Right foot steps, good. And it can't happen if the feet are too far apart. So you have to start a little more relaxed. Shoulder width. Right leg, that's very nice. Right leg, good. A couple more. Right leg, very good. Right leg, that's much better. Now you're getting your body rotating into the ball because your left leg's not stopping you. That's a good swing. Right leg, oops, sorry. There we go. Right leg, good. Left arm, middle, right leg, that's very nice. Middle, right leg, very good. Middle, right leg, good. Middle, right leg, very nice. Back up now a few steps and pull this up here so we can see. Come inside the service box. This is the one where you're going to be coming across and getting the right leg in the green circle. So come up a little bit closer. Okay, so remember you turn and then the right leg's got to land on that green circle. Middle, separate, that was good. More like that. separate. Very nice. Very nice. Middle, separate. Excellent. Middle, separate. Almost.
Too high. My fault.
A little bit. I saw it too. A little extra. Pace of the ball roll. Remember, same pace or less. Here we go. Middle, separate. That's a better ball. Remember in that instruction, and I'll say it here on the video so you have it, it's your intention. That's the key word when you strike the ball. It's the same pace or less. If your intention is to swing at it the same pace or less and you use the right technique, that ball will still rocket out faster than ever. But if your effort, if you're deliberately trying to hit it harder than the pace of the ball, your errors will go out. If it's deliberate, it has to be technique. So in your mind, it's the same pace or less is your intention when you hit the ball. Okay, here we go. I like that middle. Separate. Very good. So as you turn with that left arm to the middle, if it's high, you stay high. Good. Keep the hand on the racket for the whole turn. Left hand stays, separate. That's it. Left hand stays, separate. Good. Keep that left hand on that racket to the middle and then separate. Here we go. Middle, separate. Very nice. Very nice. Middle, separate. Very good. Middle, separate. Good. It was a lower ball, so your left hand's lower, the racket's lower. High ball. Stay up high, stay up high. Good. Remember that high ball, we're going to be a little more conservative on our swing. Here we go. Very nice. Here we go. Separate. Very good. Middle, it's low. That's the way. Middle, separate. Excellent. By staying in the middle, that's eliminated this big, long swing. It's fantastic. High, stay high, stay high. Almost, let's do it again. You have time. Stay high, stay high. Good. Stay high, stay high. That was the right one. Don't let the racket drop. Don't let it drop. Awesome. Very nice. Gene, come back at me cross court for a couple. Here we go. Stay high. Nice. Again. Stay high. Yes. That left hand is critical for the height of the ball. You can see that on the video. Stay high. Very nice. Ha! Beautiful. Go. Stay high. Stay high and abbreviate that backswing. Good. Oh, my bad. No backhands today. Here we go. Stay high. Very nice. Great tap. Stay high. Good. Middle, separate. Good. You stay. Very nice. Good. Good. Okay, be ready. Left hand's on that racket. Middle, high, stay high. Yes. Here we go. Middle, high. Good, don't drop that racket. So in that one, your preparation, the racket was prepared down here. It's gotta be higher. Stay high, stay high. Very nice. Stay high. Excellent. It's a high ball, stay high. Good. Nice, Gene. Stay high, stay high. Good, don't drop that racket in your preparation. Keep it up. Very nice. Keep that racket up. Oh, sorry. Forehand. Here we go. Stay high, stay high. Big difference. Stay high. Oh, you got me. Gee, that was great.